Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my Dragonlance prep stream. Fun and exciting thing is that my camera just died, so gonna have to get a new one of that. But, who wants to see my face anyway? Today, we are prepping for Dragonlance. My players have just exited from the shrine. I'm all discombobulated now because I was just trying to get my silly camera to work. So the crew just left the Blue Phoenix Shrine. Oh, I don't want the map version. Oh, this. Here we are. They just left the Blue Phoenix Shrine, and we ended the session with the scouts, the Deeper Nesty scouts showing up and saying, "We know where our friends are." So we know that the players are going to learn about where Camp Carrion Clay is. So we'll have to make a little bit for the map for that. Where do we have our map? Here it is. So it'll be nighttime when they come out, and they're going to need Camp Carrion Clay. Here we are. So all I did for these markers, because these letters show up for me, but not the actual PCs, is I make, there we are, just little NPC map points. And it's just going to be like a little marker. It will have an image on it so that the players know the places that they have discovered. They have their own map. And I believe we can just use... Nope. I bet there will be a map in here that we can use. Oh, what is this? Lori Wan Willow. Looks like she's hanging out in a coffin. I need to catch up on my stuff because I don't actually know why there's a chick in a coffin. So Camp Carrion Clay would be this one. It's kind of not very good map, but you know what? I might have a better one from DM Carlos. Oh. Wasn't that useful? Okay. Alright. Let's see if I have some other maps. There's some cool art. So I support a bunch of people on Patreon. DM Carlos is one of them, and he is doing a lot of individual maps for Dragonlance. Also, Tessa's maps over on DM's Guild has another group of really cool maps. And so I'm just gonna, there it is, see if we have a map that I can just use as, if I already uploaded the Camp Carrion Clay maps from either one of them. It looks like I haven't yet. But this is I have to say that when it comes to DMing, the VTT, building the stuff in the VTT is kind of the most time consuming bit. There's the reading for a module, and then there's building it in the VTT. Whereas in person, oftentimes, I don't worry about these details. I don't worry about finding the perfect picture or anything. But for the sorry, a little bit distracted. But for looking at all the okay, oops. I wanna. Oh, okay, that's why. All right, so I'm gonna do the weird thing of taking a picture of a picture and opening up. When you get Tessa's, she usually gives you a PDF with all the maps in it, and it's got a picture of each one. So what I'm gonna do is search them, see if I can find the Camp Carrion Clay map, and just save it as a picture. Where is it? Huh, weird. I don't see it on the list. That's weird. Well, let's see what this Blue Maw camp is, because at the end of the day, it's really just a camp. She might not have done it because it is one of the maps in the book, and she mostly does maps that aren't in the book. So I'll take my favorite tool in the world, the snippet tool, and just snip this and save it as a picture. And then we'll use this as the icon. So while I'm doing this, anybody out there that is playing Dragonlance, running Dragonlance, have any questions, comments, concerns? Did your players already get through this? What were their favorite parts? Alrighty. So now that we have that, we can have this. And there we are. Jen! You're prepping too? Yeah, I feel that vibe so much. To be honest, I do these streams mostly so that I make sure that I do the prep. It has a lot more to do with keeping me accountable than wanting to stream. Alrighty. Are you prepping for your real life game or your online game? Do you have an online? You do have an online game, don't you? Yeah, like, you know, have you ever heard of body doubling? That's basically what in-person game prep, yeah. Yeah, body doubling. We're just gonna body double together for the world to see. I think it's so ironic that my camera died in the middle of the meeting that I had today with the players for the Apocalypse Keys actual play. And there's just a certain sense of irony in that it like died while we were talking about whether or not everybody had a camera. So, fun, fun, fun. All right, so what have we got? So in Dragonlance, they made it through the shrine. They were very respectful too, which was amazing. I was very happy for that because that gets very dicey if the players start looting and pillaging and not being respectful. So, when they leave the shrine, Dalamar needs to only know that the Blue Phoenix Shrine is a holy place, sacred to the god Habakkuk. So hopefully they remember they need to tell Dalamar that. As the group leaves the shrine, if the characters haven't already rescued the Sea Elves at Camp Carrying Clay, which they haven't, a Sea Elf scout approaches Ishvern to tell him they found where their captured companions were taken. The Sea Elves have been imprisoned at a dragon army camp in the middle of a murky lake. Ooh, it's in the middle of a murky lake. Okay, I didn't realize that. Awesome. These Sea Elf scouts provide directions to the area on map. Mark this hex on the player's map for the region. Okay, so we just got that. Your players in online game killed a magic crow that was trying to lead them to treasure. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. And you had to make up consequences for that on the spot. Players, what are you doing? Does the crow belong to someone that's going to now be very mad at them? In my play-by-post game, we ran into these, I think they were remorazes, but like baby remorazes, because we're only level 6. Or baby purple worms. It was baby something, but scary worms. Yeah, they wound up fighting a hag. Yeah, so we ran into these worms. Same deal. They came and attacked us. We fought back. We killed them. And then an ice hag found our camp and attacked us in the middle of the night. Because we killed her babies. It was very scary. And I have never been more happy for a monk's stunning strike. Because my character was on guard duty. Like the night watch. And heard something in the woods. And decided to go check it out. And ran into the hag. And had to be like, oh. And, like being myself. Didn't attack right away, but as soon as like I was attacked by the night hag or not night hag, but by the hag, had to try to get away. And luckily she failed her save and I was able to stunning strike her because it was like 60 feet away or 120 feet away from camp. Like I had to like book it and I was far away from everyone. And I'm the only one with any kind of speed, so I would have been by myself had I not done that. So it was like stunning strike, run away, and then everybody wake up. And then she covered the camp. We had what do you call that tent? The magic tent that everybody can sleep in. Well, she covered that in ice. So then we had to break out of the ice. Or my team had to break out of the ice to help me. And I'm like running away and hiding behind it. And like, it was scary. It was very, very scary. But very fun. If you want to type it, Tiny Hut, that's the one, you're right. If you want to type up what happened with your crew, or if you just want to listen to my story because I know you are also trying to work, that's fine too. But someday you'll have to tell me about it because that sounds fun. Those are some cool shades. All right, so Ishvern will ask the characters to find and free the captives. And if he does, he will offer them a coin. All right, so here's the thing. I don't think I have Camp Carrion Clay ready yet. Because the first 3 locations that they're told about are what I made sure were ready. So now I gotta see if... And it's so far away. That's Vogler, Blue Phoenix Shrine, Wakenrath, Camp Carrion Clay. So hopefully they're not going to decide that they want to go there, but I need to be prepared in case they do. They did wind up defeating the hag, but it was a struggle. The PC who attacked the crow was the one making death saves, which feels poetic. Yeah, definitely. The great thing about the hag I picked up is she can teleport, which I'm always having to make things challenging for my barbarian, right? Also, I keep having to remind myself you can't hear me laughing right now. Oh, yeah. No, I can't. I know one time Clay was in here and we talked about no plan survives contact with the party. Exactly. Like Drek getting imprisoned by himself and taken away from the rest of the party. Yeah, Clay was in here one time and we were chatting and we were talking about possibly me linking the Discord chat. If you wanted to talk, if you're okay with your voice coming out over the stream. I think I can also join the Discord chat and it'll just link through. So let me know if you want to do that. I did it. Right, exactly. We expected you to hide, Drac, but he didn't. And honestly, it was epic. Like, Drac being Drac was just, and like trying to fight back and actually fighting back, but like just being outnumbered and taking a bite out of this pirate. And yeah, that was really, really epic and amazing. I really enjoyed it. Especially since we had that conversation about, hey, y'all are kind of passive. And Clay was like, yep, okay, not going to be passive anymore. I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to do it now and it's going to be epic. Yeah, no worries. No worries at all. I mean, you don't have to figure out tech. You just have to log into Discord. I have to figure out the tech. But yeah, no pressure. The very next time nobody in the Discord showed up to the stream, so I was hanging out in the Discord all night and not much happened, but I'm glad you're here. Let's see. It's totally up to you. I mean, I'm not going to pressure you, but if you want to talk instead of type. Yeah, try editing 2 hours of streams down into videos where you have to listen to yourself over and over and over again for like hours and hours. Oh, yeah. Not a problem. You know what I'll do is I will jump into... Where's my... I did jump into the live stream chat. So you might, if you do jump into it, you might need to mute YouTube. Otherwise you'll hear me not even in stereo, but like in echo form. But then when you chat, the whole world should be able to hear you. Yeah, no worries. Whenever you want. It's there if you want to. And if you don't, you don't have to. No worries at all. All right. So, Camp Carrion Clay. The Red Dragon Army established this outpost to serve as a waypoint for its supply lines as it travels across the northern wastes. Characters might visit this location to rescue the sea elves they learn were captured. Yes. Alternatively, if the characters are defeated by Dragon Army soldiers, they're also brought here as prisoners, which is cool. That would be interesting. Oh, I just realized I have to... I might... All right. Nope, that's how it... Okay. I need to... I'm just trying to figure out how to get... Make sure that Discord comes in, because a lot of times the video doesn't work. I mean, the audio from the... Oh, that might be why. All right, let's just try one more time to get... I'm not talking in. You can't see my face, and nothing's happening on the screen. That's terrible. I'm sorry. That's very, very bad entertainment right there. But let's see if that will work. I don't see it on the list. All right. Well, oh, there it is. All right. So we have... All right. So we have my mic. And we have Discord. And hopefully that works. Anyway, we'll have to have someone let us know. So, Camp Carrion Clay. The Dragon Army established this outpost to serve as a waypoint for its supply lines as it travels across the northern wastes. Okay. When the characters approach Camp Carrion Clay, read the following. Ahead, the smells of rotting fish and burning flesh hang thick in the air. A fortified camp sits atop cliffs jutting from the center of a muddy lake. The camp is ringed by immense bone spurs with makeshift wooden walls between. A wooden palisade surrounds a camp composed of tents, huts, and a crooked watchtower. Dozens of Dragon Army soldiers keep watch around the camp. So the 15-foot high walls around the camp, they can break the walls with an AC 12, 30 HP, and immunity to poison and psychic damage. Sentries, there are 3 sentries keeping watch in area... can't tell if that's I3 or 13, so let's go to the map. Where's my map? Where's my Camp Carrion Clay map? There it is. Alrighty. So we have this. Now, anybody who uses Foundry, if you use if you're using Foundry, there's the D&D Beyond importer, which is amazing, and also the adventure importer by the same person, Mr. Primate. If you have the D&D Beyond importer, you can get the adventure importer. And if, depending on how far they've gotten with the map, you can actually have the map, you can import the adventure, not only the book, but the lighting, the walls, and the creatures, which is super useful. Yeah, the D&D Beyond importer is really the reason I chose Foundry, honestly. One-time license fee, and there was a way to import all the stuff I already owned on D&D Beyond. Yes, please sign me up. The channel is there's a YouTube and live streaming category, and there's a live streaming channel in there. And oh, I see you in the hanging out channel. I figured I'd make sure I'd have one called live stream chat, so if anybody was like, "Oh, Celtic's hanging out in a chat, I should join her," they would know it was one that's being live streamed, and they wouldn't just hopefully. So, do you see that channel? You shouldn't need a roll. Let me look. Oh my goodness. Has the reason nobody's been getting, that's so funny. The reason no one has been interacting with the streaming stuff, maybe? Because I haven't actually... Oh, I think I did link it behind the live stream in YouTube role, but that's kind of funny. No one has interacted because I never unprivatized it. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. You have to make Eric watch for 5 minutes to make sure that he can hear you.
Okay. I will.
You don't really have to. I'm just saying it's a good idea. But
Yeah, he's playing Armored Core, and he's awesome.
okay. Oh. Uh-oh. No worries. No worries. Oh, I bet I could do it on my phone. Just long enough to check and see if anything's working. Oh, my own channel shows up. I'm going live and my own channel shows up at the top of my YouTube. That's kind of fun. I could do it on my phone.
Okay, switch headsets. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Long enough to check and see if I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
My own channel shows up. I'm going live and my own channel shows up at the top of my YouTube. That's kind of fun. Okay, so you're quiet, but I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I might just need you to turn me up.
Can you hear me? Yep. I'll just turn Discord up. And there we go.
Yeah, my regular headset, my nice headset is having some issues with my Mac, and I might have to try a new USB hub or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sounds like we are both loud and clear. Awesome. Hey, look, I did a thing.
Woo! Technology.
I know. So, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I am prepping for my in-person game, and it's just a little bit tedious because I have to level up all my pre-mades.
Yeah.
So having someone to listen to and also talk to does help me
Yeah.
not wander off and do something else. Yay, ADHD.
Yeah. I 100% understand. That's legit. That's when I was like, hey, I want to start an actual play, but first I need to practice. Well, how do I practice? Oh, DM prep. It works on my presence, trying to be interesting on camera, and also it makes me do it.
Yeah, I know that feel.
um,
Like, uh, you probably understand this feel, but my Wednesday game is paying me, so I
mhm.
really can't just skimp and BS it.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can do that and get away with it before people figure it out.
Yeah. Like, not that I don't prep for my homebrew game, but I do kind of BS it sometimes. And that's a DM skill because the party's going to do what they feel like doing. But
Yeah. I mean,
you never can plan for everything.
yeah, you can't. You just gotta know what's actually going on in the world, and
Yeah. We've talked about, like, I like to figure out what the NPCs want so that the party can have whatever relationship they want to have with them.
mm-hmm.
Instead of being like, this is a bad guy, you're going to fight this guy. Uh, it's more interesting to let them figure that out.
Exactly. And sometimes you have neutral people who the players are like, no, they're a bad guy. I'm going to kill them, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Khan did have a light bulb moment, but
Yeah. It's funny because, you know, it just players are players and they're just gonna do what they're gonna do.
yeah. What fighting style do I want to give my pre-made paladin? What weapon did I give them? I don't even remember. Probably a weapon and shield. Sword and board.
So are the players not? They can't level up their own, or you just don't know if the players are gonna be the same, or.
So all of the players that I got on the first night built their own characters.
Mm-hmm.
However, a lot of the point of curated game night, which is what I'm a DM for, is that they can send people who are asking about D&D and curious about it to learn the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they ask every DM to have pre-made characters that players like that can just drop in with.
Gotcha.
And I might have gone a little bit overboard because I made a pre-made for every class except Ranger,
Mm-hmm.
which I have my issues with Ranger, and Artificer mostly because of Anjali's experience, honestly.
What do you mean, like, because of Anjali's experience?
Because she had a hard time getting the class to like work together, all the pieces to work together, and I I can understand why that would happen with an artificer having built some.
Yeah. I find warlocks and artificers just incredibly awkward and confusing.
One of my longest term characters was a Celestial Warlock, and honestly, I find them. I feel a little bit limited when I'm playing a Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 spell slots. Make them count.
Right. And I feel like, I don't know, sometimes it feels like there's Warlock just seems to be the, hey, all we're gonna do is Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, you spend a ton of your turns Eldritch Blasting.
Mm-hmm.
Having played a long-term Warlock, yeah, tons of Eldritch Blast.
Which, you know, is fine.
Yeah.
I've seen them in actual plays be really interesting, and I think the story.
Yeah, the story's one of the big draws of playing a Warlock.
Yeah. Like, if you know what kind of relationship you want your Warlock to have with their patron, and then you can build that with the DM, I think that's, like, the biggest draw of a Warlock.
I think so, too, yeah. My pre-made druid is not going to be a spores druid like I had originally planned, because one of my most enthusiastic player is playing spores druid, and I don't want to step on his toes, so we're gonna do dreams.
That's a Dreams Druid?
I'm gonna make my pre-made a dreams druid. Just because of the art I picked. It's like a gnome with a mushroom hat. Which is why I was gonna do spores originally. But it also the mushroom hat also kind of makes me think of Fae. So dreams would work too.
Yeah. That's cool. Is that your Discord beeping or is it mine?
That's mine.
Okay.
Eric says that there's an echo on me from your feed.
Okay.
It looks like YouTube is grabbing me from Discord and your streaming capture input.
Okay. Let's see if that works any better.
Hello, hello.
I might have to turn you up. I think I was just so worried because so many times I've streamed where the background music doesn't actually play even though it's super loud in my ears.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I added the Discord because I was worried, but it looks like I didn't need to be. Alright, I don't remember where I put them. Is it in here? Yeah, this is... Oh no, what happened?
Huh? What's up?
I thought I had...
your art.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking to my art. I thought I had picked all the like shiniest like paladin art that I had for the officers. But they don't seem to be there.
Zabas Libblegibble is a dreams druid. Which dreams is kind of healer focused. But if a player comes to me and says I want to not be a healer on the druid, I'll just change it for them, or they can copy the information and change it themselves, or whatever they want to do.
Right?
We'll make it happen.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, why not just Moon Druid?
Fair enough, actually, because that's probably what somebody who's not super familiar with D&D will think of when they think of a druid.
Yeah. Just from my experience with AL, when I
Uh-huh.
build pre-mades, I build the most basic pre-mades.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to learn D&D, let's start with the basics. And if you already know D&D, then you're bringing a character.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I had 5 players, and 3 of them just walked in with characters.
Yeah.
Like, I have a level 1 character already built. A couple of them already had minis.
Nice.
One of them was like, I have a little bit of an interplanar backstory, is that okay? And I'm like, I made a pre-made Githzerai. I'd be silly to say no.
Right.
Eric says volume seems better and no more echo.
Yay. Thank you, Eric.
I'd relate to that to him, but I think he'll hear it.
Right? I think so. I hope so. All right. Oh, no. Okay.
Okay, so Moon Druid, which if somebody picks it, I will probably want to make a cheat sheet of all the common shapeshifts. But I should probably do that for myself.
Hey, how about I make this thing for my new player and then make a copy for me?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Sounds legit. I wonder. I never did.
Then I'll just have crab stats. And... Yeah, I guess for me, I would focus a lot on ocean animals and animals that live near the coast, but
Yeah. So, I mean, just for your reference, you will be able to transform into a giant crab because they are
oh heck yeah,
CR18.
I should do that. I mean, changing into a normal crab when you want to hide makes sense. If your goal is to hide,
Yeah, but if you're in combat,
yeah.
for your moon druid, I think black bear and dire wolf are pretty standard.
Okay. I may want to make cards for that.
Yeah, that might
Like,
be a
maybe
good
I just
idea.
do that if somebody picks it, but... my wizard is going to be an evoker, of course, because generally when people think wizard, they think fireballs, and that makes that easier.
Mm-hmm. That actually reminds me, I need to make some pre-gens for the playtest I'm doing at Big Bad Con. I just haven't yet.
Oh yeah, making pre-mades is kind of boring.
Yeah. Well,
Because
and
you do want to keep them pretty simple.
yeah, and it's a playtest. It's subclass playtests, and they're level 7.
Okay.
But I need to start putting that in my calendar because I have not so much time left.
When that's the September. Or no, you
30th.
already did September 30th, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cleric does not pick their domain at level 2. That's level 3. That's a level 3 thing. Most classes are level 3.
Yeah. Subclasses?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just wizard and druid, which I already did.
And cleric is level 1. Paladin, I
Oh,
think, is
cleric
level
is.
2.
Oh, yeah. Torga Brawn Anvil is already a life cleric. Cleric is my favorite class, so it hurts a little that most people think of a cleric as a heal bot. It
Mm.
can do so much more. Reckless attack on barbarian. Also, in my in-person party, the least chaotic character is the Satyr Rogue, which is hilarious.
Thank you for going against type.
Okay, Jack of all trades doesn't require I pick anything. I gave each of my pre-mates a little backstory too, and no one used them.
That's funny.
But that's DMing. You over prepare the things that don't wind up being important.
Yeah.
Let's see. Agonizing Blast, of course. And
My
Master of Many
players,
Faces is pretty fun.
um, almost all my players really enjoy the push
Oh
warlock
yeah.
thing.
What's that called? Repelling Blast, of course.
Mm-hmm. It can get really annoying when you have like a baddie that explodes and the DC is really low and you know the player's gonna probably save, but they always push the enemy out of the way and then you're like, but I can't even make you roll your save. I know you're gonna pass, but
Yeah.
let me have
Let me
my
have my
fun.
moment.
Exactly.
Oh man. Last time I ran my online game, I had a baddie show up, and I intended to kill a NPC that's been traveling with the party, because nobody's really attached to her,
Mm-hmm.
and her dying would cause some really interesting problems for the party to have to deal with.
Right.
Because she went along with them to kind of gauge their intentions for this nobleman.
Mm-hmm.
And then she winds up dead. They're gonna have some problems. But uh my housemate Paul plays a glamour cleric, and I did not account for the fact that the glamour cleric thing is to give people an extra round of movement, basically. And this baddie's whole thing was that it does a lot of damage, but as soon as you walk up on it, it disappears.
Nice.
And I did not do quite enough damage to kill the NPC. I should have BS'd it. But also, like, I kind of have to give them an opportunity to affect anything that's going to happen. Otherwise, it's railroady.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh well. The NPC is alive. They still have problems to deal with, so it's fine.
Why do I have 2 hobgoblin captains here?
Alright. All of my characters are leveled on D&D Beyond. They're all level 2 on D&D Beyond. So now I download them and put the art on the sheets, and then I print, and then I laminate. So it's a process.
Wow, that's so nice of you to go through all those extra steps.
I mean, it makes it convenient for them, because I have some wet erase markers, and they can just, like, mark off the spells as they use them. Just, like, if I'm gonna be teaching people how to play D&D, I should give them a good experience, right?
Yeah.
I'm being paid for this. I'll give them a good experience if I can.
Of course. What happened to my art?
What happened to your art?
Don't know.
Foundry is kind of janky with art, admittedly.
Well, and I have gone back and forth between using, like, you know, manually uploading one at a time versus using the FTP.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I had done Hobgoblin Captain art ages ago. And it's saying, like, oh, we can't find it, so we're going to Mystery Man. And I'm like, well, crap.
Mystery Man. The bane of my existence.
Oh, who's this? Oh, let me open it. Okay.
Bothered. There's his sheet, her sheet. That character is androgynous. It's up to the player.
Mm-hmm. You get to name it and gender it.
Yeah, they have default names, just in case somebody has trouble thinking of names. That can sometimes be the hardest part for me. But
Yeah.
they're way welcome to change it. I'm not... I have no emotional attachment to these characters. Torga the cleric, or whatever the player decides to name her. Or, you know, him, if they want to change that. Or them. I love clerics, because they start out with 18 armor class. It's so good. There are many reasons I love clerics, but that certainly helps. I am enjoying my druid too, don't get me wrong. I'm in a game as a druid, and I'm like, clerics, clerics, clerics!
I love it. Excuse me. Yeah, generally speaking, I don't have any problems with clerics or otherwise. I have one cleric PC. I haven't played in a really long time, but that's who Fajir was based off of. Except,
I love Fajir.
Does it sound terrible that I forgot about Fajir?
I did forget his name, so it's not like I can judge you.
I really felt like the numbers were off, but I was so caught up in, like, every other aspect of it that Um, I just was like, yeah, I know why Vala's not there.
Ooh, I'm
Um,
not allowed to know.
no, you're not. But now I have to figure out why Fajira's not there. Yeah, yep, that's a thing that's happening. Um,
It's always kind of fun to be like, I know why this is happening to your players. Earlier today, I was talking to Paul, and we were talking about the plot orb, and I'm like, is it a bomb? Who knows? And Paul's like, you know, and I'm like, yep.
as a matter of fact, I do. What do you think about that? Oh, what's going on? Oh, did I not save it? I'm so terrible.
I think I talked to you about the plot orb.
I think so. I don't know if you want to mention it on stream though. If you're
Yeah, no,
like,
let's not go into it. But
yeah,
the plot orb. That's the thing DMs do is they put in a plot orb.
exactly. Well, that's like,
It's just a MacGuffin.
yeah, yeah. But no, I was gonna say, that movie, Galaxy Quest.
I actually haven't seen that movie. So like,
You haven't seen that movie?
I haven't seen a lot of movies. I'm the kind of person that I enjoy watching movies, and I enjoy a lot of different kinds of movies. But it never actually occurs to me to take the action of finding a movie and watching it. So a lot of the movies I've seen because people showed them to me.
That, yeah. People are always trying to. There are times when I go looking for a movie, but it's usually like I have a vibe in mind. Like I've been trying to be more proactive in the last year to watch movies. But then I want them to help me like with my games.
Mm-hmm.
So I want them to either be like fantasy themed or whatever. Something that will give me inspiration, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, me not having seen a ton of movies, you could steal something from a movie and I won't know.
I think it's I can't remember the quote, but Matt Colville often goes along the lines of everybody steals, but
Yeah.
if you steal something from a property your players don't know, then they'll think you're brilliant.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I'm so tired.
Were you up early again today?
Yeah, I know why, because I was up till almost 2 a.m. finishing editing my video.
Oh, that'd do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool looking. I like that.
That's a cool looking dude.
Yeah, he's super cool looking dude, but also I like that frame.
Oh yeah. What add-on is that you're using to put frames on things?
Tokenizer, and then
Okay.
I think there's another. So tokenizer can be a little annoying because sometimes it just like adds frames every time you look at it, and then next thing you know, a token has like 5 frames. And you're like, what? No. Stop. What are you doing?
Get help. Oh,
um,
where the heck did I put my laminator? Where's my laminator?
let's see. I think I have another one that's 4 frames, like adds extra frames.
Uh-huh.
So tokenizer like puts them on and lets you futz with it a little bit better. I have too many modules.
Where the heck? I cleaned my office, and that's a problem, actually.
Oh.
The life of being ADHD.
Uh-huh. I feel you. Apparently, so there is a module called token frames, but I didn't have it on. So, I guess maybe tokenizer just now has more frames? Oh, no.
Well, I guess.
Oh.
Taking off my headset for a second to find my laminate.
Okay, you do that.
Be right back.
Alrighty, so just restarting after messing about with modules. Alright. Now that I'm not chatting with Jen, I have to actually talk about what I'm doing. So mostly I'm making sure that my camp carrion clay, oh, I've got to practice this one. Map is ready to go. And I've just been... Body doubling is great, man. But yeah, just adding all my... I have some art that I really enjoy. And just making sure that there's cool art here for the players to see.
Yeah. I'm back.
Welcome back.
It's a bunch of guys in there.
Yeah, and a boulette, because that's...
And a boulette.
Alright, it says Urta, 3 Baz, 2, 3...
And the 2-shot I ran when you went east.
Oh, yeah.
I gave the players a cart pulled by a boulette because it's homebrew and I can do what I want.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So I'm looking into this. So do you ever run modules?
Yes. I will sometimes stick modules into the middle of homebrew if I need to.
Oh,
and also my in-game, or my in-person game, is a module. I'm running Descent into Avernus.
Oh, that's right. You were saying.
Yeah,
That's right.
with changes. We have not reached the first page of the book yet. Rather than having an NPC tell them that Elturel imploded, I mean, as far as they know, it imploded.
Mm-hmm.
The way I described it left a lot of room for mystery, which is fun. But rather than just having an NPC tell them, why not have them see it? That's cooler.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I was going to start them outside the city, like in front of the gates, and they'd just gotten out, and they meet while everyone's figuring out what to do next. But when one of my players was introducing his character, he started describing what the character was doing in a bar. So I just went, okay, you're in a bar in El Toro. You're gonna have to roll some dexterity saves to get out.
And if they don't get out, they can just be trapped in hell. Which, it just is like a hot start for that. Like, you know, because I hear that some people say just skip the whole Baldur's Gate bit and go straight to Avernus.
Yeah.
For
I would
some
probably
versions.
have to tell them to level their characters up to 5, I think. I think 5 is when they go into hell.
You could also just, like, create hellscape stuff that levels them up.
That's true. That is quite true.
I don't know. I run hard and fast. Like, for our game, without giving you spoilers, like, I do grab adventures that I like. Because I have several. You've seen my shelves. They're covered with books. And a lot of them have adventures in them. But, like, this island, the base of it was from an adventure for, like, 2nd level. And then I just adjusted a bunch of it. One, the bad guys are going to be my bad guys instead of whatever was written in there. Two, it's a very simple adventure and a little bit, I don't want to say railroady because it's not really, but there's definitely like one path to take. It's like not railroady, but it is very linear. What I love about it is like it has a lot of really cool random encounters. The random encounters in these are great. Like the steam creatures that attacked y'all at the sea and the geysers that you had to like avoid. That was all from the module. I adjusted the DCs and stuff because of your ship and made it a little bit more exciting. But just the thought, like, I don't know that I would have thought of a steam monster coming through the fog and burning everyone in its path just because it's moving.
Yeah.
And happens to hit you, not because it's bad or evil or mean or anything. It's just like, you know, traveling like a bird flying overhead and shitting on your newly washed car. Like, it didn't do that on purpose. It's just doing its thing.
Yep. Yeah, I sometimes find when I put a module in my game and I don't write the encounters myself, that's when I have my barbarian walk up and stomp it. I had a module that I put in. I have a city that's like a little bit horror themed, that they're working their way through right now. There is a conflict between a group of succubi and a group of werewolves that they're trying to figure out. So there was a module that was built to expand on Curse of Strahd, and I'm like, this fits my setting, this fits what's going on, I'll use this. And the final boss was a demon that like had possessed a child, and you can force it to come back out and fight it. And there's supposed to be a phase 2 where it holds the child hostage, but because I let my barbarian close on it, they skipped phase 2.
Yeah. Or like when there was the Fight Club and Drac went up against that dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
And the dwarf literally never had a chance.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they were all built to be vaguely challenging and interesting. To do interesting, cool things. And, yeah, that guy never had a chance.
Yeah.
I then took that character into my solo Sunday game.
Mm-hmm.
And turned he to a she. And was running Doman through... Like, y'all never learned his name. His name was Doman. And I, like, ran her through one of my solo games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I am running low on my not as transparent paper.
Uh-oh.
Or no, I'm not. I'm not running low. I just it was positioned funky. All right, let's start printing.
Alrighty. You start printing. I think I have this pretty much.
Why did you uncheck printing on both sides of the paper? That's the entire reason I chose this printer. That's why this printer is in my house.
You have one job.
Print on two sides of the paper. That's it. Then I get my laminator warmed up and start laminating pages as they come out.
Whee!
Get through this tedium. Later levels will not come so fast, so I won't have to do this as often.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I really like about Adventures League for like what you're doing, like in the store. Because AL has very strict rules. So there's a lot of things you can and cannot do. But you can take that character anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if your group is at level 6, well, if you're just starting out, you get to join at level 5. But there's instructions in the adventures for how to adjust depending on what level your players are at.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to like just take that character anywhere, whether it's, you know, a convention online or in the store.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Adventurous League has always sounded restrictive to me.
It used to be really restrictive. But it's gotten better. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. That's what I did actually. I don't know. Did I tell you that I ran a bunch of games in Dragon Con?
Yeah.
For Adventures League. Although conventions are fun because usually people know that it's mostly like in general, they're not super tied into I must go through this adventure from beginning to end. Everybody tries to, but there's an understanding that sometimes it's just not going to work out schedule wise. So like I was running number 3 of a 4-part Spelljammer campaign. Mm-hmm. And some people had never run parts 1 and 2. Some people had run 1 and 4, and then we're in my game. Like it was kind of convoluted, but
I should go back to DragonCon at some point. It's been like a decade since I went, and I had a lot of fun. But
I have a feeling it's very big compared to what you're.
Oh yeah, I've heard that from my sister.
Like, not that that's a bad thing, but
yeah, my sister said that she doesn't think she'll be able to do it because he's got some health stuff that means she has to be careful about, picking up stuff at cons.
Yeah.
But
and
if I can ride the Mexico City Metro, I can do Dragon. I can do a convention, I think.
I mean, after Mexico, after what you went through.
Oh. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
Probably what happened.
I'm not saying everybody what's the worst can happen with after Mexico. But for your particular case, yeah, that's. I feel confident in being able to say that.
Yeah. I still do not have a sense of hunger, but I'm starting to feel a little stronger. So.
That's good. Have you been going on your walks?
Yes. My housemate and I did go to Walmart today, walking around, shopping for organization items to make the house nicer.
Nice.
I'm the one who's always fussing about house cleanliness, but I'm very willing to help find solutions rather than just fussing.
Right? Clear totes helps me a lot.
Yes. One of the things we got was a new toy bin for Gaius. I had this nice basket for a while, but the texture on that was too interesting, and he started chewing on it, so I gotta get something boringer. He has a lot of toys. He's not spoiled. He's not spoiled, it's just normal to buy your dog a bazillion toys.
Mm-hmm. Your dogs are adorable, though.
I love them. They are buddies. Hobgoblin Warlord.
Yeah. That's the Few Master, which is what the leaders is. That's what he is. And he is kind of interesting. Like, I mean, as a enemy, it's whatever. It's not that big a deal. CR6, they're 6 level. That's not anything. But in Dragonlance, despite the name, there's nobody's seen dragons for like millennia. They're just like extremely rare and considered creatures of legend that kind of left the world a long time ago. But now, if you could guess by the name of the adventure, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, the Dragon Queen is trying to come back. Well, to Kisis, but yes. And she's separate but equal, sort of. Depends which writer you ask is whether or not they are the same. But so she is trapped in another plane and was trapped in another plane because of shenanigans that happened like 1,000 years ago or something. And she's slowly been trying to find her way out, and she found like a crack between the planes, and she can't leave, but she started whispering to people and creating cultists, and then getting them to go bend to her will. And she's been working on it for a really long time. So now they have these draconians, like this guy here, which is a bastardized version, like a corrupted silver dragon, because the metallic, like, she has gotten her minions to steal metallic dragon eggs. And told the metallic dragons if they stay out of what she's doing, she'll give them their eggs back. And so they're like, yeah, okay, fine. But what she's actually doing is corrupting them and turning them into draconians. And once the metallic dragons like figure that out and return to the world, it's going to be hell to pay. But until then, in this particular camp, they found a bronze dragon egg. And when the players go through here, at some point, a black dragon is going to arrive to pick up that egg to bring it to wherever they're corrupting these eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's going to be the player's first time seeing an actual dragon.
Nice.
Yeah. I really like Kryn. Like, I like the vibe of it. It's basically the whole world is coming out of 300 years of just the Dark Ages, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The gods all left, so there's been no divine magic for 3.5 centuries. There was a massive cataclysm where the gods were like, y'all done, yeah, y'all done messed up. They threw a mountain at the earth, or the planet, and caused this massive cataclysm that their people are still like recovering from. Separated all the races, yada yada yada, like bringing everyone back to like 1E versions of adventures.
Okay.
And so when this adventure kicks off, it's literally the gods are just starting to come back, and they do it by like one of the prequels is if any of the characters wants a relationship with a god, like a cleric or a paladin or whatever.
I was about to say, that sounds like an interesting place to play my favorite class, cleric.
Yeah. If you like watching actual plays, Dork Tales is running through this. And if you start at the beginning, they did a lot of homebrew rules where the player who wanted to be a cleric wanted to just like play the homegirl, like homegrown girl who's not super powerful, you know, is kind of like, what the heck is going on? I don't understand the world. And now been given these magic healing powers. And so all the players agreed she's not, because she's basically just going to heal and maybe do a few spells, but not really do a lot of fighting. And because of the world and divine magic being what it is, like no one else is going to have healing spells except for her. Yeah. So it makes her feel super special, but also she can lean into that I'm just a horse girl, and what do you mean I have magic powers?
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. And they're just a fun group to watch too. So
It's always fun to see players that just like really back each other up in achieving the fantasy.
yeah.
Love that.
Me too. I'd love to do like a like in my version, I mean, we're still using basic 5e characters and things, but everyone agreed like the races and the vibe, we would stick to Kryn. And the traditional Dragonlance. So like, and there's like the difference between flavor and mechanics. So, you know, one of the players is playing a dwarf who doesn't like weapons, which is great. So he wanted a pair of gauntlets. And since he's like level 5, I want to give him something that's like +1. But a +1 magic sword is not something you would find in this world. So I'm just like, these are expertly made. They are not magical. Except if you look at them mechanically.
Yeah.
So like they're not going to glow with magic. They're just expertly made.
I printed on the wrong paper. Oh well.
Oopsie.
I have some paper that's left over from design school that's a little bit thicker than regular printer paper, so you can see the other side of the page less.
Mm-hmm.
But this is tedious, so I'm just gonna go with it. I don't think my players will get upset with me.
Yeah, no, probably not. I think they're just gonna be happy for everything that you're doing.
I hope so. My players seemed pretty happy last week, so
Mm-hmm.
they appreciated that I let them roll with what they were wanting to do, but still tied it back into the story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like just a skill of a good DM, a
Yeah.
sign of a good DM. Like that's a skill that you can learn to just be like, all right.
It's like, yes, that's what you're doing. That is
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's the yes and.
Yeah. Of course, there is a balance when you have those few like players that are a little bit um, mm, difficult,
Yeah.
and like blending that where I cannot give you everything you want because you were being ridiculous. But
Mm-hmm.
how about I just meet you halfway with this?
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
one of those players at DragonCon.
Yeah, my druid player keeps messaging me like ideas for mushrooms he could find and potions he could make with mushrooms, and I'm like, I'll see where that might fit in because we are running a module, and like he probably won't get all of it, but I'm gonna try to put something in there for fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always want to give people what they want as long as it makes sense in the world.
Yeah, like I might do some Satan mushrooms, but that doesn't seem that outlandish, and it'll make him happy. Why wouldn't there be Satan mushrooms? There could be Satan mushrooms.
There could totally be Satan mushrooms.
And it'll make a really cool and really weird potion.
Mm-hmm.
This guy keeps referencing his book of mushrooms, so I might just do some research and combine two mushrooms to make the Satan mushroom, so that it's something he recognizes, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's still weird.
Right. I think people appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy, my monk character sheet's very curly. I think I have to redo it.
No.
It's just printing out the page again.
Mm.
I can use the correct paper this time. Again, not that it's a problem enough to reprint it without, I need to reprint it anyway.
Right. This is fun. This Wakenrath place. Uh,
Oh, that's a cool tower.
yeah. So here at this, I guess this is the bottom level. Oh no, this is the fourth level. Okay. At this bottom, oh here it is. I should put some light on it to make it glitter. But this level, there's this statue here, and the tradition says if you have to leave a silver coin before moving on, and so this
Mm-hmm.
place is like littered with hundreds of coins. But if you take a coin or you try to move on without leaving a coin, you're cursed.
Paul just stealthed into my office and left me parchment paper for the contract. I didn't notice until he had left. So I just turn around and there's paper on top of my laminator, and I'm like, wait.
Thanks, Eric.
That's Paul, but
oh, Paul. Thanks, Paul.
I want to bring Paul to a one shot someday because I think people would like him.
Yeah.
He has a similar playstyle to me.
Mm-hmm.
My DM4 other days. He seems to enjoy what I do. So if that gives you an idea.
Nice. Well, yeah, he is always welcome.
Yeah. I've sent him an invitation to the server, but he's shy and he's like, I'm a little anxious that I'm gonna get bombarded by welcome messages when I come in and I'm not gonna know what to say. And I'm like, I don't think you will, but go when you're ready.
Yeah. I mean, generally I say hi, and usually one or two people say hi, but I personally dislike it when I enter a Discord and everybody shows up in the general chat, and then there's lots of those big, obvious, animated waves and stuff, and I'm sure it makes people feel welcome, but it makes me feel overwhelmed. So that's why, in mine, it's not set up that way.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what Paul's nervous about. He's going to be bombarded by a whole bunch of people and just be like, ah! But I'll let him know that you don't... It's set up to not really allow for that, and I kind of did imply that, but...
Yeah. I mean, it's up to him whenever he feels comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna force it, but I think he'd get along with my people.
Yeah, heck yeah. And if you say that he is good people, then I say, welcome, Paul.
That is what I say. I say Paul's good people. So yeah, he's a little, like, I invited him to TSL, but he's a little nervous about the idea of learning a new system with strangers, and that's totally valid.
Mm-hmm.
I can't blame him. So I'm kind of like waiting for a 5e opportunity to pop up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I don't run very much 5e. I mean, outside of the two campaigns.
It's not the best one-shot system. I think TSL works way better for a one-shot.
Mm. I do have some... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I ran that two-shot, and I guess I ran another one-shot that I'd already... Like, it was based on something that I had done before.
Mm-hmm.
It was, like, the Mummy-esque. So they're going through a pyramid and collecting scarab gems and putting them into a puzzle and that kind of thing. But combat takes a lot longer than you think it will, and in a one-shot you have to get through enough plot beats to make a satisfying story quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Especially as someone who used to run Adventures League one-shots. It took me a long time to figure out, like, pacing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a challenge.
And I still don't think I'm great at it. I'm trying to spell regretful, and I spelled regretful. No regrets.
Regretful. No regrets.
But I was actually really impressed with myself when I was running the one-shots for Dragon Con. because I was able to finish on time
Nice.
for the most part. So one of them, I was willing to end it early, but they wanted to keep playing because we had 20 minutes left of the session. So then it was me trying to get a complicated combat going and finished in 20 minutes. But I did it. I think we finished like 5 minutes late. Yeah.
The Underdark 2-shot, I had to skim through the final fight. Because it got a couple hours past time. It got to like 3 a.m. and Jolly's like, I'm sorry, Jen, I love this and I want to continue, but it's 3 a.m. and I have kids. And I was like, oh, yeah, valid. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah. And that's happened to me a bunch of times before. I was finally like, hey. Well, and that's like trying to talk to you, like when I brought up the other day about, are you all good with just it being 3 hours? And let's verbalize that it is just going to be 3 hours and we're not going to try and make it 4 every time, because there's that balance.
Yeah. Yeah, I think having some time flexibility is just something we should expect, especially if we're trying to do 3-hour sessions, because again, combat, it's hard to predict how long it will take.
Mm-hmm.
And D&D is a lot about combat. Most of the mechanics are centered around combat.
Yeah. But yeah. She is the thug, isn't she? Okay. I have it. The art did say human thug, but smaller. It looked totally cool, and now it looks very thug-like. Let's give her the merchant one. Meh. Close enough.
I think your video is frozen on my screen.
Uh-oh.
Is that just... No, that is not just one transparency thing. It's good I did not send that through the hot press.
My regular headset, my nice headset
Oops.
is having some
Whoa. No, it's moving on mine.
Oh, yeah, it's changed now. I might have. Regretful spirit.
Yeah, it's mostly for the art. I don't know that she actually has stats. But in here, they fight wraiths on the bottom floor. And once each wraith is defeated, it turns into an incorporeal elven spirit. One spirit quickly fades away, while the other, a woman with light gray hair and pale eyes, floats through the ceiling and out of sight. And then they can go up the ceiling. They can find something cool in the bottom level. And then on the next level here, the room's shattered walls stand frozen in time, hovering a heartbeat away from falling apart. A sizable hole gapes in the room's floor. To the south, rubble blocks a staircase leading down, while to the north, another staircase climbs to the level above. Dismal gray-green light shines from flickering wall sconces, eerily illuminating yellowed bones fallen from burial niches and scattered across the floor. If the characters defeated the wraiths, the elf spirit is up here. The woman's spirit repeatedly tries to pick up a sword from the remains on the floor, failing every time. She does not notice unless... Okay. Alright. Gentita. I'm gonna... Oh. Put this in her biography. Maybe? No, might not let me do it. But yeah, we're just sitting here chit-chatting about D&D and setting up our... So what is your session going to be like next week? Or this week?
So this coming Wednesday's session, the players were setting out from El Terrell after I imploded it. Like, that's not what really happened, but as far as they know, that's what happened. And they did decide to go to Baldur's Gate, which is a relief. But they didn't want to walk the full 10 days, which is fair. And they were a little bit worried that the same thing might have happened to Baldur's Gate, so they wanted to scout ahead before bringing the whole, like, group of civilians out there. So they went to some farming villages to acquire horses. And a lot of last session was about that. So next session, they're going to ride out to Baldur's Gate, find out that it's still there. I'm hoping they decide to go back and continue protecting the refugee party. Because I want to put the bandit encounter there. And, like, give the one NPC that's going to die a cool moment. just to sell it. Sell, the Hell Riders mainly. But also being a badass around a DMD party is dangerous. So if you see a D&D party, be weak. But yeah, I want to give him like a cool moment and not have him participate in the fight, but he's stalling for time until help arrives. And the party is to help, so he's badly injured. He's just like talking a bunch of shit, and the bandits are mocking him, and then the party shows up and saves the refugees. If they decided to not go back to the refugees, I pretty much have to do the bandit encounter just randomly somewhere. Maybe I come up with a better idea for how to present that in that case. But there will be a bandit encounter because they haven't had a chance to do combat yet, and I'm sure they want to do their first combat.
Right.
So let's do something low stakes, like simple bandits. Just to like see how they take combat, let them figure it out. But action, bonus action, movement, blah blah blah. I think they will probably get to Baldur's Gate, where the refugees will be stopped at the gate. And since I'm doing the remix, they're gonna make a deal with Zodge, probably. Like the party gets to do what the party wants to do. But the idea is that they'll make a deal with Zodge to solve the serial killer mystery, so that the refugees can be let in. The remake suggests killing off one of the NPCs, killing off the Hell Rider guy. It makes sense. And I don't think they'll get into like actually solving the mystery, but I probably should have a little bit of that prepared just in case we go faster than I think we will. Like maybe the tavern part, or the remix kind of lets them pick what direction they want and puts clues in different locations. So I guess I prepare a little bit of each of the locations and have a slightly easier time next week.
Nice.
They are supposed to level up to 2 as soon as they make a deal with the captain at the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird, because that's like 10 minutes into the game if you're going straight by the book.
Do they do
So,
anything on the walk?
not really.
They don't have like a
In the
combat
book,
or anything?
yeah. No, there's not a combat. They watch an NPC do cool stuff, and then the NPC says, "You're gonna do the plot, or I'm gonna kill you," and then they level up to level 2. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I am adding a level 1 combat because I think that will be helpful for them. It's just gonna be bandits.
Yeah, I mean, if you're teaching them D&D, definitely want to just have something. Otherwise, I'd say just start them at level 2.
Yeah. But since I added so much to the beginning, they have a level 1 of it. And one of them commented, like, as the city's falling apart around them, he's like, "This is a lot for level 1." And I'm like, we're just level 1 and there's a lot going on. And I'm like, that's just how it is. That's just what's happening.
Mm-hmm. God, that reminds me, if you don't mind me saying,
yeah, go for it.
In my solo Sunday game today, I was streaming and I finally found the MacGuffin. I unlocked the door. I beat the creature on the other side, and then I had to fight this undead serpent. And it was like, I'm level 1. I'm a rogue. I needed to be able to do, it only had 7 hit points, but it was undead. So it would gain 1 hit point at the start of each turn. And then if it bit me, it would do 1 necrotic damage, which would lower my top HP. And then it would gain another hit point. And it took half damage from non-magical weapons.
Ooh. Level 1?
At level 1. Spoiler alert, I did not survive. And I'm a rogue, so like my whole thing is sneak attack damage, but it's a solo adventure.
You don't have cunning action.
I have no cunning action, and that doesn't happen until 2nd level. So like at one point I was like, okay, the only thing I can do is try and get advantage somehow, and the only way I can think of is to hide. And like we're at the bottom of the stairs, so I can like run up the stairs and around the corner and like hide in a pile of bones or something.
Yeah.
But then I realized I don't have cunning action, so my choice is use my action to disengage or use my action to hide.
Yeah.
So I use
That's rough.
Yeah, so I used my action to attempted to use my action to hide. And the snake, like in the rules it says the snake will just bite unless you try to run away from it, and then it will try to constrict you. So I did its attack to constrict, and it constricted, which meant now I'm grappled, which is only like making my movement 0, so I can't get away. But like it hit, and at least that didn't give necrotic damage. But yeah, it was rough. It was real rough. I don't know, like maybe there was more stuff to find. Like maybe there was a magic weapon somewhere in this cave system. But nobody came to the stream today, so like, and I don't know if that's because I switched to YouTube. But
it was just early for me.
Yeah, it is fairly early. But like that wasn't pointed at you. There are like 3 or 4 people that
I get it.
Fairly regularly will show up. So I was like, I don't know if it's because I skipped last week, so they're out of the habit, or they were just busy, or it's because I wasn't on Twitch, I was on YouTube. But I was like all alone doing this.
Aww.
And I was just like, I'm gonna lose my character. I don't know what to do. I need help, and nobody's in the chat.
Aww. Okay, my markers. Paul was warning me because Paul recommended that I do wet erase markers for the character sheets and
Mm-hmm.
for my battle mat because it won't rub off quite as easily as dry erase markers.
Right.
He has actual experience playing in person. I'm an online D&D baby.
You can't see me, but I'm nodding. Yeah, like that was one of my things with DragonCon. Those are my first non-friends in-person games.
Ooh.
So I brought way more equipment than I needed.
Yeah, I'm still learning what the differences are gonna be for telling a story in person versus telling a story when I can get like art to say, oh, here's my weird village that I came up with.
Mm-hmm.
I may need a second accordion file with all these character sheets. They're getting big. Probably because I'm fucking laminating them.
Could be.
Listen, I want to make it a smooth and pleasant experience to learn D&D from me.
Aw, that's very sweet of you.
That is my job.
Trying to figure out. Okay, we're gonna have to. They need to pass one of these before they can level up, but this really feels like they should be leveled up before they deal with this. But maybe that's just me, and they'll be fine. Of course, it's just me. My players are super strong, and they're super. Like the Dragonlance players, half of them are like very experienced, especially at sort of min-max building, like building powerful characters.
And also you've got Anjali, but Anjali picks up things real fast.
Yeah. And Jolly's great. But like, yeah, the three very experienced players will just mow through this encounter, so I should not worry. I'm trying to figure out this restoring the tower. So at the top of this tower, there's like this portal to the Shadowfell, because this tower used to be part of a floating city, and the portal used to connect to a certain place in the Feywild. But when the floating city crashed before the cataclysm, the connection got wonky. So now it connects to the Shadowfell. And while they're up there trying to figure this out, an undead Oncolox shows up.
I have no idea what that is, but it sounds intimidating.
It is. It's built for Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's pretty.
My Dragonlance knowledge is extremely.
Yeah. It's pretty wonky. Pretty gross looking. But it has Entrapping Rend.
Oh, that's gnarly.
Plus 10 to hit. So this one might actually hit my characters.
Oh.
Does 23 piercing damage, and if the target is a large or smaller creature, the target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be trapped in the Oncolox's rib cage and grappled. DC 18 to escape. Until this grapple ends, the target is restrained, and the Oncolox can't use a trapping rend on another target. Oh, that's cool. And with a plus 10 to hit and a DC 18 strength saving throw, there's a good chance that that'll actually. A lot of these creatures, they'll have multi-attack, but they have like a plus 4 to hit, and they do like 1d8 damage. It's so, and they run into, a lot of them but I roll really badly. I don't know if you've noticed this, but
Oh, I printed 2 bard character sheets. I don't need both of those. Let's just store that somewhere.
ooh, and this is fun. His claw attacks do a +10 to hit
Ooh.
and 17 piercing damage, and if the target is larger or smaller, it must succeed on a DC 18 strength saving throw or be pushed up to 20 feet in a horizontal direction of the Ankylos's choice. This is especially fun because my players love to push my baddies around. Like, I think everybody has a way to push creatures.
Yeah, you're talking about the warlock.
Yeah, the warlock does it. Anjali's character is she took telekinetic shove. So
What is Angeli's character?
Anjali's character is a Twilight cleric.
Oh, that I love Twilight cleric.
Yeah, a minotaur.
That's my lab cleric.
Oh, cool. That's my cleric too.
It's a good spec. Also, the player that's playing cleric in my in-person campaign is playing a Twilight cleric. It's just a good spec.
It really is. It's funny because I didn't, especially when I first started, I didn't watch a lot of those build epic characters, and I didn't realize that the Twilight cleric was so over the top good.
Yeah.
And I definitely didn't do all the things that makes a Twilight cleric over the top good. Because, like, even the aura, it just feels like the other characters were built so well that they almost never needed healing.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like a useless cleric, to be completely honest. But I liked my character.
As I have been saying, I adore clerics.
Yeah. Its AC is only 15.
Clerics do everything. You want a martial character? That can be a cleric. You want a full caster? Cleric.
It's true.
You want to have good AC? Cleric.
Yeah, that and paladins.
Also, clerics are kind of like warlocks in that you can get cool story stuff from your DM, from your relationship with your god. I did have a phase where I'm like, I need to play a healer for this campaign, but I don't want to play a cleric because I don't want to be the religious type, and that was dumb. And actually seeing Jester in Critical Role turned me around. It's like, oh, I don't have to be a fantasy Christian. You can have a lot more fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is it? My cleric is one of the characters that I randomly rolled everything. And I got criminal spy background, dragonborn cleric.
Interesting.
So I specifically chose the Twilight cleric because of the what do you call it? The dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said she was raised to be. No, what was it? Oh, so her village was attacked and like under attack by these cultists, and what's his name? All the names are in my brain and they're not making any sense. But the hurt god in Faerun.
The hurt god in Faerun.
Oh, the martyr.
Drawing a blank.
Yeah, me too. He's like Not Lathander. No, that's wrong.
I don't actually know the Pantheon that well.
Yeah, I guess I don't either. I just know the ones that I had to learn. Okay, I know he's an enemy of Leviator, the Maiden of Pain.
I just
Ilmater.
googled Leviathor and got the Pokemon Gyarados. I don't know if you have any familiarity with Pokemon. That's
No.
It's a very like my specific age thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Harry Potter. Like if you are my specific age, you were the same age as the main characters when it first came out, so it was like a fantasy for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have one additional listeners, and if it's not Paul or Eric,
Hello.
they know exactly what my age is now. They probably don't know who I am, but they know exactly what my age is.
That's hilarious. Yes, hello. Jen is Harry Potter age. I
Yes.
am older than that. Oh, goodness. All right. So, this is a weird tower thing. Like, I love this Onkolox creature. I definitely want to use it against my players because they love pushing things around. And this looks like it would actually be a good encounter for them. And just give them a little bit of like, oh shit, +10 to hit. Oh shit. Which I'm super excited about.
You're giving them some pushback. Literally.
But Wait, where's my Discord? I just think it's silly that it's like it comes up outside of the tower because it wants to feed on their life force.
Mm-hmm.
It really just sounds like, and it just shows up and starts eating people, but it's a tower, so we'll give it something weird. And then restoring the tower is like super easy. So it just really feels like a way, I don't know. It feels very silly. It does not feel like a good encounter overall. I feel like I'm going to have to adjust this.
Mm-hmm. When I don't go in and adjust modules, I find that I have problems. I guess I'm just used to building stuff specifically for my players.
Well, the thing is okay, I have a rant about this. Mm-hmm. I'm in a lot of DM groups, and almost everybody complains, like, oh, well, WotC didn't write this, and they didn't write that. Well, no, of course not. They cannot think about every player who might possibly touch this. And as a DM who has run the same adventures with multiple groups, sometimes even the same players, but playing different characters, you're never going to be able to think of every possible thing. And I've seen like level 1 adventures that half the group walked through, a quarter of the group struggled with, and I had 1 TPK. Like, and I've run that session like 7 times.
That's fair enough, yeah.
You're never going to be able to account for everything possible. And quite frankly, what I love about WotC is also the same thing that bugs me about them. Because, like, yeah, there's times where I'm really like, wait, what? Why don't I have this information? Is it makes me a better DM to build it, to create it, to figure out what my players and what their characters would most likely enjoy. And frankly, that's my job as a DM.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So I totally understand. And I think the best thing that happened to me was my first D&D adventure that I tried to run was Dragon of Icespire Peak. And that's basically a quest board, and everything is it's a framework. It is not an adventure like fully fleshed out the way Phandelver is.
Yeah, I tried to just run exactly what was on the pages of the book, and that didn't really work.
Yeah. And that was really difficult for me when I first started. I was like Googling things and finding information, but then I started finding how other DMs were running stuff, and then I started to be like, oh. And I watched like 4 different actual plays do the same adventures in in Icespire Peak, and all of it was completely different. The players did different things, the DMs did different things, and I was like, that opened up my mind to all the possibilities. And I'm like, oh. And then when one of the players decided to turn into a bear and attack the mayor of the town.
Oh boy.
And I was like, okay, well, the sheriff that doesn't exist just showed up to kick you all out, because why did you attack the mayor? And then building up, I ended up just doing so much research on Phandalin and got Lost Mine of Phandelver and just started like, I have a map where all these places are that I added. So like, oh, if you go here, you're going to meet this person and they're going to send you on this adventure. And then if you go over there, it'll connect to those 2 people. And I built out this whole thing. And then the schedule monster attacked.
Oh, yeah.
But I still...
The highest CR monster of all.
Exactly. But yeah. So that's my stance on it.
That's fair, yeah. Just trying to go straight by the book. It's not.
No.
It hasn't ever been good for me.
No, because it's not supposed to be. Like, if you ever watch Jim Crawford or any of the WotC people, any of the older DMs who grew up with D&D, if you watch them talk about things like that, even the ones who write adventures, they leave that space as a gift to the DM.
Yeah.
Because that's what they would want. They would just want a framework.
And yeah, every group has a different vibe, and they're gonna do different things.
Mm-hmm. So, but I do like pre-made adventures because I kind of know the path.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know the destination, so if people go off the path, I know, like, what things I have to move, what things I can ignore, what kind of things I can build to give them the same information or whatever, or, oh, there's a creature that is immune to non-magical weapons. I'll make sure at least one of the party members finds this +1 sword.
Did I lose audio?
No, you're
Okay,
fine.
no.
Sorry, I'm reading. Yeah, I'm reading. Once the characters learn everything that they need to learn to tell their elven friend, he will be able to give them more information about the city of last names, which is where they ultimately need to go. Okay. There's a lot more. It's kind of funny. Granted, this is do do do. We'll just do this. Is that gonna work? There we go. All right, so there's so many locations that they could possibly go to: the Blue Maw Cave, the Dragonlance Spire, Camp Carrying Clay, Red Wolf Cave, and the City of Last Names. So the City of Last Names is all the way at the end. But like they're given some information when they start. And they're supposed to go to 3 places: the Blue Phoenix Shrine, the Sunward Fortress, and then they're supposed to meet their friend Dalamar in Wakenrith and give him information about those places. Mm-hmm. And all along, they also have like a whole army that's following behind them that they're like trying to scout ahead for. So, that's what I gotta figure out. I gotta figure out where the heck the army is, and I gotta give the army a token. Okay, so they are. So they're given these 3 locations, and then I was just reading in the end of the 3rd location, Wakenreth. They're basically given the end destination, which is the City of Last Names, and then he does ask them to take him somewhere in particular. But that just really feels very much like, I don't know, like it is a hex crawl, but why in the world would they go west when everything else is north to get to the Blue Maw Cave? Like, why does it even exist?
I don't know.
It just feels very, I don't know. It feels very, very.
It's very.
Speaking of WotC adventures. But that's all right, because they don't need to go there if they don't want to, and I can just as easily. I should read it at least to find out if it's important. I don't think it's very important though.
Players go where they want.
Which is generally a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
As long as they go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's all right.
We're fixing it.
No, I'm really excited. I think everything is gonna come together.
I think if sessions keep being like last sessions, it's gonna be exciting. Last session was eventful.
It was. Did you like that? Was, for lack of a better phrase, was it like good even though everybody was so separated?
Yes. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast.
Awesome. That was just really funny. I'm like, okay, I have 6 players in 3 different groups.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Splitting the party, always a good idea.
Always a good idea. Alrighty. I actually don't mind splitting the party.
Yeah. No, it worked out really well. Like, everybody loved the Drac scenes, and it was just Drac.
Right? Let's see. So, yeah, no, that was a lot of fun with Drac. And then he pulled out the Alexander voice.
Uh-huh. I love it.
It's so funny. And I was so nervous too because I was like, oh, I don't know.
I have to play his character.
I had to play his character. Wasn't practicing the voice. And then he started off with it because he knew exactly who it was, which I was also happy with.
Yeah, I do that sometimes in my game. Like, there's a beloved Paul character that I made an NPC in my game to give him a little cameo. And then I got close to the session and I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to do the accent. So I asked Paul if he wanted to do it and just gave him a quick rundown of what that character knows, and it turned out great.
Oh, perfect. I should have done that.
I don't know if it would have been too spoilery for, like, Clay playing Drac, but in my case, it turned out really well.
Oh, because Paul wasn't playing another character as well?
Well, Paul had his character for that campaign. This past character was just making a cameo as an NPC.
Oh, I got you.
But the NPC was not super knowledgeable about what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I could give Paul a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and not spoil too much. This was an NPC who's like a little bit lost in everything that's going on. So it was not that much extra information he got ahead of time.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't mind some of the information. Because there's not a whole lot that Professor Albrecht knows about the greater story anyway, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you might try that with Clay. You might have fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
I thoroughly enjoyed the character's name is Phineas. He's one of the werewolves. I was telling you about the werewolf cult and the succubus group that are in a fight with each other. And Phineas has no clue what's going on. So I just told Paul, like, what Phineas's past couple of days have been like and let him roll with it.
Nice. Does he have a friend named Ferb?
No, but I'm gonna make one up now. There's gonna be a werewolf labeled Ferb on the map.
Perfect.
We'll see if anybody gets it.
Hopefully, at least Paul will.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the clues that they found when searching, because the party searched an old hideout that the werewolves had to leave. And there was a fireplace that was enchanted that was kind of important. And Phineas had found it and just, like, wrote on a piece of paper, "what the fuck," with an arrow pointing and stuck it on the fireplace. And he shows back up and says, "I thought that's all you needed to know." really? I was just dying.
Okay, so I looked into the Blue Maw Cave. It's actually kind of neat. It's a previous blue dragon lair. The blue dragon is gone, and some dwarves that had been captured by the army escaped and ran away and are hiding there. And the lead dwarf, it's like a family. She's an enthusiast of gnomish engineering, and I have a gnome tinkerer and a dwarf in my party.
Nice.
And they both want some sort of interaction with the Kryn god of the dwarves and what's his name? Rayors? Rosa? Something like that.
You could tell me whatever and I believe you.
I love that. I love that. I think it's Reorz, but let's look. Ooh. Okay. Rayorx with not a Z and X. Okay, Rayorx, also known as the Forge, the worldsmith and tamer of chaos, represents the godly force of creation. He desires for souls to grow through crafting and gaining skill. He is the patron of dwarves and gnomes, but also all craftsmen. He is also followed by gamblers and rogues because they rely on their own talent to change the course of an event. He respects and encourages the power of mortals to shape, build, and produce. Rayorx often takes the mortal form of a handsomely dressed dwarf named Dugan Redhammer. Rayorx, at the behest of the High God, created the world of Kryn from raw energies of chaos. He unknowingly encases chaos into the Grey Gem, where he sought a bit of the essence of a higher deity to anchor the balance in the world, which later has dire repercussions in the world. Okay, he is a much-loved deity. He works with Shannare and Gillian and is respected by Serganas and Kiri Jolith for his power of smithing mighty weapons. Zeboim is known to go to Rayorx. Okay, this is... the dwarves hold that Rayorx created them as his chosen. However, Rayorx creates the gnomes instead when a chosen group of men fall from his grace. The dwarves and the Kender are created when the energies of chaos morph a group of gnomes into the two races. Wait, what? The dwarves and Kender are created when the energies of chaos morph a group of gnomes into dwarves and Kender. Okay. His celestial symbol is the red star. Okay. That's a lot of weird stuff, but I can use this because the dwarf is going to get excited and the gnome is going to get excited.
Yeah.
And this is the fun stuff right here. So how do I get them? I think the easiest way to get them to go to this area. So they might learn about it from the Heart's Hollow quests. So the Heart's Hollow quests. Heart's Hollow serves as a safe place for the characters to rest and resupply. And the locals know a lot about the region and can give them any information that the players haven't gotten yet. Except they don't know where the City of Last Names is, and they have avoided the Dragon Army. So it says, for the Blue Maw Cave exploration, a group of scavengers have heard of the cave, an out-of-the-way cavern where they've spotted dwarves living. They'd like to meet the dwarves and perhaps establish a friendly rapport. If the threats in the cave have not yet been defeated, the scavengers encourage the characters to clear them out, but they won't participate in combat themselves. Okay, so that's a really weak That's really weak. But we can have Rayorks dressed as Dugan Redhammer show up and guide them to the cavern. All right. This is when I got to get out my Notion template. Do you ever use the lazy DMs method?
I don't think I know it.
Oh. Sly Flourish? Have you heard of him?
No. I gotta link me.
I will. Okay. Alright. So, there's the generate session planning template, which is what I use a lot for our homebrew game. Because I'm making everything up. I use it less for the Dragonlance game because I have the book to lean on. But you start off with a strong start. And then there's the list of scenes where you think the players are going to end up, or what possibilities there are. And the absolute gold standard are these secrets and clues. And you check them off when they're revealed. And you just pick 10 secrets and clues. And it can be, you know, dwarves living in the cave, right? And then, like, maybe we'll do Rayorks. Is Dugan Redhammer. And so you just put whatever secrets and clues you have. I don't know. Let's see if I can find one from our game that's old enough that you already know the clues, the secrets.
Maybe the treasure map.
Oh, I wasn't using it way back then.
Okay.
Okay. Well, this one only has 2 secrets, which is really funny.
Write the contract a little bit later because I don't think that's really doable while talking.
Oh,
we'll do
yeah.
that tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night's prep.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so most of this you don't know yet. And I just started doing it in June. So there's still some stuff. But anyway, you can just put whatever your secrets are. And and they're basically candy to give the players. So like in previous times before I started using the Notion, we'll use as an example, a secret is there were other treasure maps in the Body Bod songs. And I had, both Lapidum and Seraph had been transcribing the songs, and every time they did, I made them roll an intelligence check. And every time they failed.
Oh, that's a little frustrating as a DM. You don't get to get out your secrets.
Well, yeah, but it's fine. And there was another one, there was a whole adventure that I had planned. So there were like clues that I dropped for that adventure, but none of you picked up on it. And then eventually we moved past the adventure. So they just all get thrown away. Like, it doesn't matter. And maybe I can use them for later, but maybe not. You know, the fact that Noah Guy sold out the university kids was a secret for many sessions before you all discovered it.
Got it.
So like it's those sorts of things, or you know, the earthquakes. Like my secret and clue might be exactly why these earthquakes are happening, but all you see is, there's been a couple of earthquakes. So, I'm a huge proponent of it, and let's see if I can find Um. Do. So, if you like Notion, he does have the Notion template, which you can totally um um why am I not seeing it? Okay, this is weird. I guess I should subscribe. But he has Sly Flourish is just, he's an old guy but a good guy that's um been around for a long
Hey, your pal
time
Mike.
and very experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote a book called The Lazy Dungeon Master, and then the Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master.
I like the sound of that. I want to be a
Uh-huh.
lazy dungeon master.
Yeah. And especially for like in-person games where you might not need a map, it's real easy because you pick up your strong start, you pick out your, adversaries,
Mm-hmm.
you give your secrets and clues, and you know like your scenes, and you're done. You could basically, if you using this, if you are actually also, know what you're doing, and there is a fair bit of prep beforehand as well, but you can basically prepare a game in 30 minutes.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to find like the specific ones. Maybe it's this one.
Hey friends, it's your pal Mike.
No, don't play. He's got a ton of videos, but there was one that was literally breaking down the method, like a whole playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to find, but it's... They are hiding from me. Here we go.
Since 2018.
All right, so I'll drop it in the YouTube chat.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also, for your homebrew stuff,
Yes.
something that I recently discovered is plot webs.
Oh.
And this is by the... There it is.
The other two characters.
Stop. I feel like this is like... Here, let's do this again. So this one is what I recently discovered it like a few weeks ago. And this is like what I've been doing with our homebrew group, which is why I'm pushing a lot more for backstory stuff now. And like asking more directed questions.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically building a plot web. So you take, it's things you would do anyway, even in this game. Like, as I just said, I have a dwarf and a gnome, and they want some kind of interaction with their god. And, oh, look, here's an old cave with a bunch of dwarves living in it. How do I make these things work? So it's basically step by step. Who are the important people and places and events in your players' lives? And how can we link them? Can there be, things that link them together? Like the university or how like some people are students and teachers, but that's a very light link. But what if, and I'm not saying this has happened because I'm still working on this, but like, what if Seraph's brother is somehow connected to Khan's mother?
Yeah, that would be.
That would be freaky. But that would be one of those things, and then it would come out later in the game of, oh, here's this connection, and it will draw you both in more, I think. And it made me realize that I had individual hooks for individual people, which a lot of you were too nervous to go out and reach for. But if I have hooks that link multiple people,
then we have a lot less reason to feel guilty that, oh, we're focusing on my thing.
Right. Like,
if we do the pirates, it's not just pirates that Khan worked with that he's not fond of, it's Khan and Drac.
Exactly. So, and I had a lot of stuff in my head that I never wrote down. So it was always just like, oh, yeah, like you already know, Khan has a connection to the stars. He's a star druid, right? Like, so that was always going to be a thing. And then, Sky has this connection to his patron that we don't really know what's going on with that, but it has a lot to do with shadows and darkness. So if at some point I can link them, like, I don't know, with a couple of wisdom saving throws.
Yep.
And even, like, for me, the next step of that too, and I'm not saying like this in particular, but because you as a group love the interpersonal drama so much, I also want to create conflicts between you.
Yeah.
Because exactly, like you, every single one of you as a group would bite onto that more than you would bite onto like, oh, look, there's an underwater temple that I've dreamt about. Huh, maybe I'll go in the other direction. Or, like. So, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm using that video specifically to help me with that.
Oh, random thought. One way to give Khan an additional goal. He's a student. Maybe he is working on a thesis and he has something he needs to figure out for that.
Well, yeah, what kind of thesis?
Something about the stars in relation to navigation or the sea. I need to give it some more thought, but I'm like, that's a real easy way to add a goal to him. And I really should flesh that out.
Yeah, and I think you have mentioned the dissertation before, and like I think about like tides. Maybe there's a belief that the stars affect the tides. That could be a thing. I know I need to work with Sabrina as well on getting into the coral's history aspect of it and trying to do more with that. Like, I had stuff, like there was adventures that get thrown away. There was going to be like the earthquake would uncover a ruin that Haven was built on.
Ooh.
Which would pull coral in really strongly. But then just where everybody was, it just didn't make sense at the time. So
yeah,
just save that temple for something else.
Yeah, I should dig into what Khan's thesis is and what he needs to.
Yeah, like
he's working on it.
He has this. I mean, you've mentioned that he talks to the stars. He has this connection with like this constellation, and that that kind of magic that comes from either from the stars themselves or from his connection to them. I mean, this is up to him. Where does he think this magic comes from?
Yeah. He believes he is drawing on the power of the stars, so the stars. He thinks it's the power of the stars, and they're being very nice and loaning him power.
I love that. I have a plan for Khan, and I hope you like it.
I am excited.
I just, I decided that I wanted to make like, a new constellation for him.
Ooh.
If you like it or not, I don't know. But also like, if Khan does the right things.
Okay.
Or the wrong things.
Or the wrong things, yeah.
I mean, it's all perspective, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm getting too excited. I'm about to spoil something, so I'm going to stop.
Okay. Dragonlance.
Dragonlance is also a fun game. All right. So what's in the Blue Maw? So we have the Blue Maw Cavern, meeting the dwarves, preparing for the Maw. Okay, so if the characters agree to help the dwarves, Gresha casually adds that in addition to the draconians, they might have to deal with monsters she calls fangworms, which are gricks. I don't even know what gricks are. Do I have them in here? They should be in here.
Rumors of El Terrell is the thing I already printed out and had with me, and I was having the NPCs pull from that.
Oh, this is only a CR2. Okay. They have tentacles and a beak. Here's something that I do. I don't know if you do. Sometimes I need to just max out the hit points of creatures.
Yeah.
Especially with this group.
Mm-hmm. There's the rumors. There's the map of the bar. Oh, there's supposed to be a pirate fight in the bar.
Oh, fun. Wait, in the Baldur's Gate bar?
Yeah. the remake says, I'll be honest, I think the pirate encounter is kind of dumb.
Yeah?
I suspect it's largely here because the writers needed to level the PCs up and felt it was even more ridiculous to do it without at least some kind of fight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't need to do the pirate encounter because I'm gonna be running bandits.
Yeah.
Before I even get to page 1 of the book. One of the suggestions is you do it as a running gag. If you've replaced Tarina, the NPC that is a spy and gives information, with a player character, so, like, especially if somebody comes in on the second session, you can give them the information that this NPC would have, and it's fun for the players to get it from another PC.
Mm-hmm.
But it says, if you place Tarina with a PC, the pirates could be worked in as a running gag as long as they're in Baldur's Gate. Everywhere they go, more pirates seeking revenge. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might just skip the pirate encounter. It doesn't seem, like, helpful.
I mean, if you're gonna do... Where are you gonna do the bandits?
Somewhere outside of Baldur's Gate before they get there. I would like it to be when they go back to the refugee caravan to let them know that Baldur's Gate still exists.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a guarantee that they decide to do that. So I might have to BS it and say, oh, you see a commotion happening on the road.
Let me see. There's... I don't know if I have downloaded them yet. Or if I bought them. But let's look.
Good night, Eric. Oh, you got Maxie.
Oh, do you need to go to bed?
No, Eric's been sleeping on the futon, because usually Max and Gaius share the bed with us, and he has been finding Gaius to be highly disruptive with his squirming around.
Hmm.
And he has to be at work pretty early, so not getting good sleep is a problem.
Yeah.
We've talked about getting Gaius a bed and trying to like teach him to sleep in bed instead of laying on me. Which is what usually happens. I'll lay in bed and he'll just like flop over me.
That's so funny.
Guess who jumped onto the futon and tried to take it for himself?
Apparently Gaius jumped on the futon and tried to take it for himself.
That's hilarious.
And you know how when you look at a pit bull straight in the face, it kind of looks like they're smirking?
Mm.
He just walks in here with his head up high and the pit bull smirk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes dogs have a distinctively favorite person. Max likes Eric and Gaius likes me.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna send you... Oh. Maybe.
Oh, sorry. Turn it. Eric's asked me to get a little quieter. I'm being a little rambunctious.
Oh no.
You're
Oops.
having fun. I can tell. You're laughing every few minutes, so clearly you're having a good time.
I'm talking to D.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking about Dragonlance and other things.
You're talking to D about D&D and other...
Yeah, D&D with D.
I don't know if he can follow me or not. If he does, I might keep him with me, otherwise it ticks off.
Yeah. Hopefully if he doesn't follow you in there, he won't see opportunity.
You want me to just stick him in here and close him in with you?
I mean, even if he does see opportunity, it's gonna be minimal cleanup, probably, so.
But if you want to go offline, because usually I actually only stream for 2 hours and we're going on 3. But that's just because I had so much fun with you. I kind of forgot we were supposed to be. I'm like supposed to be a personality on YouTube right now. Instead, I was just hanging out with you.
If I'm gonna come back and hang out with you more, I might have to like act more like a personality that you can bounce off of. I don't know how to do that. I'll have to research that.
I think you did fine.
Okay.
I just I was not spending a whole lot of time talking about Dragonlance, but that's okay. I don't know that anybody actually watches these, so it's mostly just a reason for me to like practice and also actually do my DM prep. So
There's a second viewer now.
That might
I don't know who they are.
That might be me.
Oh yeah, they popped back out. Yeah, you had a second viewer for a little while. It could have been Eric or Paul because I put the link in house chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep telling Paul, hey, come hang out with my people. You'll like them. They'll like you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody liked Sabrina immediately, and like Sabrina, Eric, Paul, and I have been a group for 15 years. Like,
Oh wow, that's amazing.
yeah.
So the last link I sent before we go offline
Uh-huh.
is the first Adventures League version of Descent into Avernus.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe it's 4 1-hour mini adventures for first to second level characters. So if you don't use it outright, you might be able to use it for some sort of Yay! Hi Paul.
This is Paul. Paul's good people.
Welcome, Paul.
I endorse Paul.
I'm so glad you came out of the shadows for a moment, Paul. But yeah, so Jen, the adventure, it's like $5,
Mm-hmm.
and it tells you everything you need to know, how to adjust it if depending on how strong your characters are, stuff like that.
I think I will grab that because I want this to be interesting and fun, and I'll take whatever ideas I can get.
Yeah, and they kind of go feed into the rest of the adventure. Like I missed that one, but I did the ones when they finally got to Baldur's Gate, and they were pretty fun.
Yeah, what I've heard is that the hell part's a lot stronger than the part before that, but I did want to start at level 1.
Yeah, it sounds like they tacked the Baldur's Gate stuff on because Baldur's Gate 2 was coming out.
Oh, yeah, tie-ins.
Yeah, that's what I heard a lot. So, I don't know if it's really true, but it makes sense. But anyway, I think it's time for us to say goodnight. I had a great time. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I got some prep done. Well, I got all my character sheets updated, and I got some badges to hand to players. So it's progress.
Yeah. Well, we could also do these in the Discord, just hanging out. I think I might start doing that because the Apocalypse Keys actual play we are scheduling for the second Sunday in October, and it will be on Sundays. So I will no longer be able to do this specific stream because I will be doing a different stream.
I might have to check out your actual play though. I won't be able to talk, of course, but
yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be so great. And there's also an Apocalypse Keys game one-shot coming up if you have the time and you want to play the game and learn it.
This week I do have some fairly stressful deadlines at work, but I did sign up for TSL, which you saw.
Yes. You and Anjali, it's going to be so much fun.
Oh man, we're going to wind up romancing each other again. Also, Paul, join the Discord. Dee promises that you won't be bombarded by welcome messages.
Yeah, I have to say hi, but after that, I leave people alone unless they respond, and they act like they want to talk. Just so you know, I personally can't ignore you, but
it's not usually crazy when somebody new joins.
No, I was telling Jen earlier that I personally hate when Discords get really in your face about welcoming you and stuff like that, and with all the animation pictures and stuff like that feels overwhelming to me, which is why I set up my Discord so that all the welcome messages go in a channel that is solely welcome messages. So unless someone is watching that, they won't even notice you've arrived.
I'm not even allowed to see the messages in there. And I do have some special permissions because I ran one-shots.
Wait, you should be able to see the welcome channel. The welcome channel
I can't.
isn't private, is it?
You do not have permission to view the message history of welcome.
Oh.
That's what I get.
Well, that's not what I meant to do, but that is hilarious. Okay. I will turn on the read message history. But
Okay.
it was supposed to be
This
like
is the beginning of the server, D. That's what it says.
It says what?
It says, "Welcome to Celtic's Gaming Den. This is the beginning of the server."
That's funny. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's why nobody ever says hello. I thought it was just because everybody was pretty chill and just, like, when I go to a new server, I immediately, if there's a welcome channel, I immediately mute it. Especially busy ones. So, I just can't do it on my own server because that would be rude.
Yeah. Yeah, you introduce new people all the time and it's never a bombardment.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Dreamer Boy. Nobody else said anything about Dreamer Boy. I hope he doesn't feel.
Honestly, I've had a few people join because they were going to join a game and then realized that they couldn't join a game. And lately, they've asked to stay. They're like, hey, I can't join your game, but do you mind if I just stick around because your community seems cool? And I'm like, hell yeah, you can. Welcome.
Yeah.
Come in. More people.
It's not like a super overwhelmingly crazy community. Like, we have our question of the day. There's sometimes some discussion in one of the channels, and I don't feel like I fall behind.
Yeah. I think it feels to me a perfect amount of people being involved versus being, like, overwhelming.
Yeah.
So. And also, y'all are just really awesome and warm and welcoming to people and greeting people. And obviously, people feel that.
Yeah. I'm finding out I have a lot of in common with Hold the Fuck Up. Like we were talking about Harry Potter the other day and Disney World today. Or for them, it's Disneyland.
Yeah, she lives in
For her, it's Disneyland.
Yeah. She's awesome. I adore her. She's actually who I'm going to be working for at Big Bad Con.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So we share like 100 servers or something silly. Maybe not that many, but we share a lot of servers.
I would get so overwhelmed being in 100 servers.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out how to just ignore things.
Yeah. Some of them do a lot of, like, announcement beeps. And that gets overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm in some, especially they're like smaller channels, and they at everyone for everything, or at here. And at here means, like, if you're online, you get it. Whether you're in the channel or not, or whether you want it or not. And I'm just like, that's not what this means.
I'm in an artist Discord, and they draw, like, a fan art per month. And I get an alert for every time it's like, the voting is open. The voting's closed. Come vote for your favorite character. And it's like, guys, I don't need this much alerts. I love you. I want to support you. I don't need this much alerts.
Right. I tried to hide my alerts behind roles. So if they become too much, you can just give up the role.
Yeah, it's never been too much.
Mm-hmm. I know it was in the beginning before I figured everything out.
Well, it hasn't been too much as long as I've been in your server.
Aw, thank you.
Which you said the server isn't that much older than my presence there? Is that right?
Yeah.
Or did I misunderstand?
Let's see. The first person to join was on July 24th, 2022. And
I
you
don't remember when I joined.
joined.
It was like fall, I think.
Yeah, I believe. So Anjali joined in August, and they were in some of my early games. I think
So
you.
crazy that Anjali was a new tabletop player.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed. Anyway, sorry.
Nope. Looks like September 30th. You and Eric joined on September 30th, 2022.
Okay. So coming up on the 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Should figure out when our first session was and have like a year anniversary thing.
Party.
Mm.
Don't let Sabrina have too much access to the confetti button. She broke my... She broke my, Foundry. She found out that you can increase the amount of confetti in the settings.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And then she pressed the button a bunch of times. Sabrina trolls me a lot in my game.
That's so funny. It's actually funny because confetti, I think it still works on the, I don't have it on in this one, but, why don't I have it on in this one? But it's one of those modules that hasn't been updated for 11 yet.
Okay.
Oh, no, it is on. I just don't see it. Maybe because it's broken. Confetti. GM only. If you're a GM who absolutely hates letting your players have nice things, you'll enable this and remove the confetti buttons from their screens.
I'll enable that button when Sabrina's feeling feisty. No, she knows. She knows what she can do without getting me actually upset. We've known each other forever, so.
Yeah. No, I think that's funny. Yeah, so it looks like it's... I don't see the thing anymore.
Oh, the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a confetti multiplier. You can crank it up pretty high, ask me. Oh, I know.
Oh, okay, I see. The little icon doesn't show up unless you're in the chat window.
Oh, okay.
So. Alrighty. It is 8 o'clock in my time.
Oh, it's midnight my time.
Yeah, it's time to go to bed. Paul, if you're still here, thank you so much for hanging out. Please, if you would like to join the channel, my Discord, you are more than welcome. But no pressure. And for the rest of YouTube land, if you're watching this and you stayed all the way through to the end, you're my kind of people. Maybe come check me out on startplaying.games. And soon, maybe even Jen will be running games on startplaying.games.
Maybe so. For now, definitely recommend D.
Alrighty. Good night, everyone.
Good night.